After violent protests in PoK, does Shehbaz Sharif now face another big blow as a Pakistan military Mi-17 helicopter goes down? The Pakistan military's Mi-17 helicopter suffers a fatal crash that kills everyone on board, raising sharp questions over safety standards inside the Army's aviation wing. A Pakistani chopper goes down near Muzaffarabad, with the military blaming a technical snag. But will grieving families accept that explanation? Pakistan Army's aviation wing suffered a major loss on June 10 after Mi-17 helicopter crashed, marking a serious blow to its rotary wing fleet and frontline personnel. The helicopter went down near Muzaffarabad during takeoff, killing all personnel on board, according to the initial statement from Pakistan's military authorities. Military officials said a suspected technical fault caused the accident and ordered a formal investigation to determine the exact reasons behind the crash. Rescue and recovery teams were dispatched to the crash site soon after impact, as the Pakistan Army moved to secure the area and recover the remains and wreckage. Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff, General Asim Munir, publicly expressed grief over the loss of military personnel, extending condolences to the families of those killed. The incident occurred at a time when violence has gripped Pakistan-occupied Kashmir this week, adding to an already tense and volatile security environment in the region. At least 30 people were reportedly killed and over 200 injured in violent clashes across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, as days of protests and crackdowns spiraled into some of the deadliest unrest in the region. Security forces on June 7 clashed with protesters in Rawalakot, turning what began as political demonstrations into an armed street battle with live fire and heavy force. The authorities' decision to ban the Joint Awami Action Committee, a coalition that had become the main platform for voicing economic and political grievances in PoK, triggered the unrest. The authorities' decision to ban the Joint Awami Action Committee, a coalition that had become the main platform for voicing economic and political grievances in PoK, triggered the unrest. Authorities outlawed the group last week, citing security and public order risks, a move critics say was aimed at silencing dissent rather than protecting civilians. Tensions exploded after a local trader was shot during a confrontation with police on June 5. The trader's death drew large crowds to the hospital mortuary where his body was taken, as mourners and activists gathered to demand justice and accountability from the authorities. Officials said security forces then moved in to disperse the growing crowd, which sparked wider clashes and a deadly escalation. Rawalakot's commissioner claimed that some protesters were armed with rifles and petrol bombs. He said 6 protesters were killed during the security response, a figure flatly rejected by locals who insist the real death toll is much higher than the official line. Locals and JAAC supporters have disputed the casualty numbers, alleging that many more were killed or injured and accusing the authorities of hiding the true scale of the crackdown. The clashes erupted just a day before the Civil Society Alliance's planned mass protests in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The alliance had vocally opposed 12 reserved seats for refugees in the July 27 polls, arguing that the arrangement distorts representation and dilutes the voice of PoK residents. JAC activists also protested rolling internet blackouts, spiraling inflation, and chronic electricity shortages, saying daily life had become unbearable for ordinary people. Long-running issues such as unemployment, perceived exploitation of local resources, and political marginalization have further fueled anger. The JAC vehemently rejected its designation as a terror group, calling the label an act of political oppression. The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan raised serious concerns over the ban on the committee, warning that outlawing civic platforms only drives dissent underground. The HRCP condemned excessive use of force, civilian deaths, and imposed communication blackouts, urging authorities to restore rights, lift curbs, and open dialogue.